The Twins early on in his career against Minnesota. What has worked so effectively for Brett Cecil?
Well, first of all, he has neutralized Joe Mauer and Justin Morneau. Combined, they are 0 for 9 against him. But the thing that Cecil does to these Minnesota Twin batters is he'll cut the fastball in on the right-handers, and he's not afraid to use his changeup to the very dangerous left-handed batters. I think that sets up his fastball and his other things, not being afraid to throw the changeup to the left-handers.
The Blue Jays have never won the first 3 games of the season at home. They'll try to do that today against Minnesota. Brett Cecil trying to wrap up the sweep here. Now let's go back to the BlackBerry broadcast studio. Here's Jamie Campbell.
The regular season. They won the opener 13-3 behind Ricky Romero, 6-1 yesterday afternoon behind Kyle Dribbett. couple of changes in the lineup for Ron Gardner. Art Span's off to a good start. Tsuyoshi Nishioka had his first major league hit here. Delman Young moves up into the third spot. Normally that's where Joe Mauer is, but Mauer hasn't played a lot this year, coming off a knee surgery last offseason, so they give him this afternoon game off. Morneau is the DH. Kadire moves into first base. Kubel, Valencia, Butera behind the plate in place of Joe Mauer, and Matt Tolbert starts at short.
Brett Cecil will get his first start of the season. He led the club in wins last year with those 15 that you see right there, becoming the first Blue Jay to lead the team in wins, starting the season in the minor leagues. He made a couple of starts in the minors, came up here and won 15 games, had a rough spring, an ERA of about 6. He was 0-2. Brett Cecil looking to get back on and throwing the ball a little bit harder, but I think he's just going to be fine with this great crowd here.
Take a look at the defense behind Brett Cecil. Mike McCoy is back in center field again for a second consecutive day. Rajai Davis was in the lineup but scratched because of a sprained ankle. Snyder, Bautista in the corners. Yunel Escobar and Hill up the middle. Encarnacion back at third base, and Adam Lynn's off to a good start defensively over at first. Art Span looks at the first pitch. It's a strike at 89 miles an hour. We mentioned that because we're going to keep an eye on the velocity here this afternoon.
Yeah, we certainly will. Expectations very high for Brett Cecil coming into this season. And there has been some concern and a lot of talk about that velocity.
Good sink on that inside fastball. Cecil ahead 0-2.
John Farrell was telling us before the ball game, they understand that he's throwing 88 to 90 miles an hour. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you keep the ball down like that last pitch.
Span struck out to start yesterday's game against Kyle Drabek. Change up, down and in. You mentioned the concern about the velocity. Brett Cecil was the one that was most concerned. Last year he pitched oftentimes over 90 miles an hour. We have rarely seen that from him so far this season. He's ahead of Span 1-2. Strike 3 call. Great location, good fastball gets Span.
Buck, that was the whole key to this last pitch. Watch where it is, right on the corner, right on the outer part of the plate. There are the average pitch speeds for Brett Cecil last season, according to Fangraphs. His fastball was average at 90 miles an hour, good slider, and a good changeup. He's got to be able to mix that. Now, there were games where he threw a lot harder. We had the game in Cleveland where he had 10 strikeouts, and he was throwing 96, 97 that day.
Tsuyoshi Nishioka, the second baseman, 1 for 7 in the series. Shows bunt and takes a strike. Minnesota has been held just to 9 hits in the first 2 games. Kyle Drabek, Sean Camp, and Mark Zepchinski threw a combined 1-hitter yesterday. Breaking ball just off the plate, a little cut fastball that missed the inside corner. JP Arancibia making his second start of the season behind the plate. Good changeup.
Not afraid to throw that changeup at any time in the count. Arancibia looks so much better behind the plate this year, doesn't he? So relaxed. He lets the ball come to him. He has worked so hard in spring training in his receiving actions.
Strike 3 call. Another changeup gets Nishioka. 2 strikeouts to start the game, just like yesterday for Drabek.
Again, not afraid to throw it at any point. You can see the grip as how he holds it in his glove, and he can make it cut in on right-handers also with that changeup. The importance that that ball was down.
Delman Young hitting third this afternoon. Swings at the first pitch and pulls it foul. Young was in the 5th spot in the first 2 games of this series. But with the left-hander Cecil starting this series finale, Joe Mauer gets the day off and Young moves up.
Really says something about the season that Delman Young had last year when he led this team in RBIs.
Late on a fastball. Boy, Cecil's doing nothing but pounding the strike zone.
I don't care about miles per hour. As long as you can keep the ball down and keep batters off balance.
There's that 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Tried to get Young to chase upstairs.
That might be one of those pitches where they just brush him back off the plate. You can double up now on that fastball or turn over another changeup.
Got him. So much for velocity concerns. Brett Cecil gets his season started, striking out the side in the first. Team, the Blue Jays are hitting .348, and they've already pounded out 6 home runs. Take a look at the lineup for John Farrell. Junel Escobar in the leadoff spot for a second consecutive day with Davis on the bench to start the game. Juan Rivera moves up into the 2 spot as the DH. Then the middle of the order. This is what Farrell wanted to do. Keep Bautista, Lynn, and Hill all in the same order. Encarnacion Jones back at third base. Snyder with a big pinch hit yesterday. J.P. Arancibia and Mike McCoy.
He also wanted to keep Aaron Hill in an RBI situation. He's got pretty decent numbers against Nick Blackburn. Nick Blackburn will try to give Ron Gardenhire a few more innings than what he has gotten from his starters the last couple of days and go deep into the game. He makes his 2011 debut. There are his numbers right there. He went 10-12 last year, but his ERA was 5.42. Went down to the minor leagues, got it straightened out a little bit. That elbow got a little bit better. In his final 8 starts, he was much better.
Escobar pulls it foul. Carl Pavano, the starter in the opener, went 4 innings. Game 2 pitcher Francisco Liriano went 4 1/3. So Nick Blackburn would like to be able to pitch a little deeper in this game here this afternoon. Good sinking fastball.
Ron Gardenhire was talking about he's already doubled up with some of his players already out of that bullpen. That he needs his starter to give him 7 or 8 innings.
Said Kevin Slowey pitched in the first 2 games, and he's a former starter. Good pitch on the outside corner, grounded to Valencia. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the defense. That will probably be very busy with Nick Blackburn on the mound. He gets a lot of ground ball outs. Delman Young, Bernard Spann, and Jason Kubel will form the outfield this afternoon. Matt Tolbert will get the start at shortstop. He takes over with the day off for Alexis Casillas. And Drew Butera will be doing the catching as Joe Mauer gets the afternoon off.
Well, Buttera can really catch and throw, and he got a lot of at-bats during the spring with Mauer coming back from knee surgery in the offseason. Juan Rivera batting second. Looks at a breaking ball in there for a strike. Rivera's 0 for 4 in this young season. He's walked a couple of times. And there's his first hit of 2011. Move him up in the order, and he comes through right away.
Well, he can handle the bat in that number 2 hole. He also has had some success against Nick Blackburn in his career. But he can go to right field if need be, and he can handle every one of those pitches. That looked like a breaking ball down and away, and he reaches out for it and pulls it into left field.
Right fielder Jose Bautista. 3 for 7 with a homer so far. Change up for a strike. Bautista comes into the regular season off a pretty good spring, swinging the bat very effectively at the end of spring training. Blackburn looks like a totally different pitcher here early in this game than we saw a year ago.
Yeah, his pitchers were very flat last year. He had surgery at the end of the season to clean up an elbow problem, and he's basically a sinker slider type of pitcher.
Fair ball inside bag at third base. Rivera going around second, stops as Delman Young got to it very quickly. Bautista pulled it just inside the bag at third.
That is also respect for the throwing arm of Delman Young. You have to know your ballpark and where the ball is going to bounce off the wall down the lines. Juan Rivera has been around, as you see this ball go right over the bag and down the line, but it hits the wall that jets out. So Delman Young can get to it very quickly, and no chance for Rivera to go first or third on that base hit.
Blue Jays threatening to score here in the first. They scored 4 first-inning runs in the season opener. Well, one thing about the Twins starters, they are not afraid to throw strikes. They come right at you. Always near the top of the American League and fewest walks allowed. Just down out of the zone. In this series, we mentioned how well the Blue Jays are swinging the bats as a team, hitting .348 coming into this game. They've also walked 11 times in the first 2 games. On the ground, Tolbert at short. To Nishioka, back to first in time, double play. Nick Blackburn gets a big double play to erase the impact of 2 singles. We've played an inning here at Rogers Center. Scoreless. Brett's wife and young son. And let's take a look back at that first inning.
Well, this is what they saw. They saw great command of all of his pitches. And look at the location of these strikeouts. They're down. They're unhittable. Delman Young goes through a changeup. He had his fastball, his cutter, and his changeup throwing all strikes in that first inning.
Kyle Drabek struck out the side in yesterday's ball game to start against Minnesota, and Brett Cecil did the same here this afternoon. He'll face the DH, Justin Morneau. Good sinking fastball. More important than velocity, the location.
Jamie Moyer's made a big career at location and changing speed. He's not a guy who'll burn it up there.
Grounded toward shallow right field. He'll in time to get Morneau. Shift works again.
First out here by Brett Cecil. Let's take a look at the scouting report brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. You need to work downhill if you are Brett Cecil. Fastball, cutter, breaking ball, stand tall, work downhill. Excellent changeup. It's a swing and miss type of changeup. And his velocity we've been talking about has been down. He says he thinks he's been coming along the side of the ball instead of staying behind it. If he can stay behind it, he'll be fine. This is what I mean about standing tall and working downhill. He's tall, and watch the trajectory of the baseball coming down the lower part of the strike zone. That's what he's going to need this afternoon.
Kadire lines it right to Escobar at shortstop. 2 quick outs here in the second.
Michael Kadire, a very underrated hitter, tries to pull that off-speed pitch, but it's right at Escobar. One of the things the Twins hitters have always been good at is adjusting to where the pitches are. If it's away, they'll take it the other way. If it's inside, they'll try and pull it.
Jason Kubel in right field this afternoon. But Cecil is firing on all cylinders. Up and away. Cecil's retired the first 5 Twins he's faced here this afternoon. That Cecil's making his 3rd career start against Minnesota. He started on September 10th of 2009 here at Rogers Center. Won that ball game, and then last July also a win. On the ground, Hills there, rights himself. Kubel's retired a 1-2-3 second inning on just 8 pitches, making the Cecil family very proud. Romero got the opening call to start this season, and he set the tone very effectively on Friday night, pitching into the 7th inning.
Two pitchers at the top of the rotation with relatively same type of stuff. It's hard. It moves all over the place. Brett Cecil's a little bit different. He's more of a change speed, use your changeup a little bit more, but still very effective.
How challenging is it for the Twins hitters to make the adjustment after facing Graybex and his power sinker and trying to counteract Brett Cecil?
Yeah, that's what I mean, that the difference in miles per hour and the stuff. And I think that's why John Farrell likes to have a power pitcher in between Romero and Cecil, just to give the opposition a different look.
Aaron Hill's pleased with his start to the season. 2 for 7, couple of sacrifice flies. Looks at a curveball. It's 1-1. Hill, of course, started last season, played opening day, then went on the disabled list and never really recovered. Blue Jays have a new bench in their dugout, including in that fence, and that bench toward the third base end of the dugout has been reserved for the starting pitchers. But look at who's been invited to join them. John McDonald, he gets a free pass.
How about that for respect to join the big boys?
And pitchers, they're cliquish. They stay to themselves pretty much. But Ricky Romero, I'm sure, just anointed John McDonald the ability. You can come and sit with us anytime, Johnny Mac. Well, Blackburn's got a good sinking fastball today. Blue Jays haven't been able to square it up yet.
And he's got a very good slider. Last year he had hurt his elbow and he just didn't have that pitch last year, and that's why I think all of his numbers were inflated.
Last year he had an ERA at 5.42. His previous 2 seasons, in which he had made 33 starts in each of 08 and 09, his ERA was just over 4. So you could tell something wasn't right. That was the second highest ERA in the American League.
In the 25 home runs, the 7th most in the American League. Well, you take a pitch away from a guy, one of his bread and butter pitches, and he's going to struggle. His slider, he just couldn't get out there and finish that slider, which is one of his best pitches. You take that away from him, and sure, those numbers are going to be high.
Full count, hammered to short. Matt Tolbert getting the start today. Gets some help from Kadire on the other end. Well, we're talking starters. Brandon Morrow had a simulated game down in the bullpen here at Rogers Center before the start of this game today, and he continues to improve, coming back from some mild elbow irritation. And the plan for Morrow is to leave Toronto, go back down to Dunedin, Florida, and start the opener for the Dunedin team in the Florida State League on Thursday.
He's supposed to also have some company when he goes down there. Frank Francisco is going to join him.
Francisco will throw again here tomorrow on the off day and then fly down to Florida. He too will pitch in that game on Thursday. So that's good news. Morrow not expected to miss an awful lot of time. In fact, John Farrell said he felt great today. Bounced foul. Boy, I tell you what, Blue Jays are killing worms early in this game. Blackburn's got that sinking fastball working.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of ground balls with Nick Blackburn, one of the higher ground ball ratios in the American League. Another thing that he does is he shuts down in the running game. He'll control it. Just 9 attempts all last year when he was on the mound.
2-2 to Encarnacion, another tapper out in front of home and foul. Edwin Encarnacion was the DH in yesterday's game, had a single, scored a run, and drove in a run. And an infield single against Kevin Slowey as Slowey came out of the bullpen in relief of Liriano. You mentioned Blackburn had elbow surgery. What they do is they go in and clean up that elbow joint. Sometimes there'll be bone chips in there, bone spurs, and they'll smooth out the elbow joint. And he obviously feels much freer and can certainly extend that right arm and get his pitches down where he wants them to be.
And finish them. That's the main thing. If you can finish those pitches.
Driven to center. That Span has a beat on it just in front of the warning track. Encarnacion's retired. 2 outs.
You know, what would it be like if every time you swung the bat you felt a pain? And I think that's what it's like for a pitcher if they can't finish pitches. They're afraid to extend and get out there and get the good break on the pitches. Nick Blackburn pitched basically the whole season with an injured elbow.
And you know what might have put him in that mindset as you look at Travis Snyder. Blackburn signed a 4-year, $14 million contract at the end of March prior to the regular season. He was reluctant to bring up any arm problems, and he probably felt he owed it to the ball club to go out there and pitch, and in fact made 26 starts with a bum elbow. Travis Snyder had a big hit in yesterday's game, a pinch double that drove in 2 runs. That came against Kevin Slowey in the 5th. Pulls it underneath the glove of Nishioka in the right.
We've been talking about Nick Blackburn, so let's take a little closer look at this afternoon's starter for the Minnesota Twins. He has all the pitches. Fastball, slider, which is probably his best pitch, curveball, the cutter, and the changeup. He's got very sound mechanics, no wasted motion. He stands very tall on the mound. And again, he's had a very strong spring, 3-1 with an ERA of 1.7. But more importantly, 26 innings pitched this spring. It's always a good sign when they can make their call.
J.P. Arancibia takes a high breaking ball. Arancibia had the day off yesterday. Jose Molina was behind the plate, but what a start to his season. 3 for 4, 2 homers, a triple, and he drove in 5 Friday night. Fly ball center field, but that'll hang up for Span. Blue Jays get a couple of balls in the air, but Blackburn shuts them down. It's bobblehead day here at Rogers Center. Jose Bautista bobblehead day. We have played 2 innings. We're scoreless. When you look at the average age of the Blue Jays rotation, 25 years, 138 days. That's the youngest rotation in the major leagues.
Think about that. Oakland Athletics get a lot of attention with their young starters, but the Blue Jays are younger. A lot of talent on the mound for the Blue Jays this year.
The Philadelphia Phillies have the oldest rotation at 31 years, 192 days. Of course, that's Halladay, Hamels, Blanton, Lee, and Oswalt. Well, boy, the future is very bright when you think about the 5 starters currently in the rotation, all 26 years old or younger. A ball on the strike. Danny Valencia, the third baseman, 0 for 7 so far in the season.
Drive to left field. Travis Snyder on the run at the wall. This ball is gone. Danny Valencia hit 7 home runs a year ago. That's #1 on the season, and for the first time this series, the Twins have taken the lead.
With their first hit of the afternoon, and it's a big fly from Valencia. Nice compact short swing. That ball hung up. You can see where J. Perry and Sebia wanted that ball down and away, and it stayed over the middle of the plate and up. And gets it into the bullpen, and the Twins are on the board.
Drew Butera swings at the first pitch and pops it toward foul ground. Bautista has room and makes the catch. Cecil comes right back and records an out on the next pitch after the home run. That'll be the #9 hitter, shortstop Matt Tolbert. Tolbert's a switch hitter batting right-handed against the left-hander. Tolbert's first at bat of the season. He has played in the field defensively. Took over for Alexi Casilla in game 2 of this series at shortstop. Good changeup. Late movement down and away.
You can see when he reaches into that glove how he throws it. It's more like a circle change. Really comes right off the end of his hand.
On the ground, Escobar. Colbert's retired 2 outs.
Escobar looks so comfortable at shortstop. Brian Butterfield was telling me today that he feels like there's even more inside him. One of the things that they're trying to do is keep his feet moving a little bit more. When he throws the ball, he's going to be a little bit more accurate and have a little bit more on it.
Just seems so much more at ease here this year as opposed to the 60 games a year ago after the trade from Atlanta. Denard Span struck out his first time up. (2-0). I love the way that Cecil has picked up the rhythm. You talked about trying to energize his delivery and get a little more velocity. I think he's really picked up the rhythm.
The way they explained it to us, create energy in that delivery. How do you create energy in that delivery? You speed up your delivery. You use your legs just a little bit more, and what you're hoping to do is get a little bit faster arm action. You do that, the ball's going to come out a little bit harder.
A 4-pitch walk. So JP and Sebia will jog to the mound and have a little chat here as they have to keep their eye on Denard Span. He had 26 steals a year ago, and with 2 outs, you got to believe he's thinking about trying to get a good jump at first.
And the thing with Span is he's got a very good steal percentage. Last year at 86% was the 4th highest single season percentage in Twins history. He was only thrown out 3 times last year.
2 outs. Nishioka, the second baseman, cuts on a changeup.
That's one thing, especially the left-handers that the Blue Jays have on this pitching staff, is they control the running game. They really vary their motions to home plate. They don't have great moves over to first base like a Jimmy Key, but they know how to hold runners.
They use the slide step very effectively without much of a high leg kick in their stride toward home. It's all about timing. Base runners have timing as well. The key for a base runner like Span is to pick up on a pattern. Set, go to home. Set, go to home. You've got to disrupt that pattern if you're Brett Cecil. Got a pretty good fastball. Paul Schreiber, the home plate umpire, felt it was inside. 2 balls and a strike, 2 down.
and possibly up. Another way that you can disrupt the timing is throw fastballs in breaking ball counts, thinking that they might go on an off-speed pitch.
I think the one thing to always remind yourself of is priority is the hitter. You can give that courtesy toss from time to time, but you better focus on the hitter.
Yeah, you get that guy, and what the man on base doesn't matter.
Two balls and a strike, 2 outs. Way up out of the zone. Snap throw, but Span is back. Twins have taken a 1-0 lead. A leadoff home run here in the third by Danny Valencia.
Fastball up and away, and Aaron Sebia with a little toss over to first base just to put in the back of the mind of Bernard Span. Don't stray off of first base too far. Probably going to get a jump now with the count 3-1.
Didn't get a very good jump and had to shut it down. He's lost count of the outs now. He takes off, but it's academic as Hill hauls it in for the final out of the inning. But the Twins get on the board. They break through against Brett Cecil. Danny Valencia going deep. Afternoon, 27,000 yesterday afternoon came to watch the Blue Jays win. The Oakland Athletics will be here on Tuesday after Monday's off day. 2 night games, each beginning at 7:07 p.m. The Thursday matinee begins at 12:37. For tickets, call the Blue Jays 416-341-1234, or you can log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Mike McCoy had a good idea about pushing a bunt, but Blackburn gets off the mound quickly and makes a play.
Well, the right side of the infield was very deep. Not a bad idea. All you have to do is just get it by the pitcher. Mike hits on top of the ball with that good sinker from Blackburn and beats it down in the dirt. Can't get it by him.
So Blackburn efficiently threw the lineup the first time, allowed 3 singles, but got the double play back in the first. Julian Escobar grounded to third his first time up. What do you do against a sinker baller like Blackburn to be most effective as hitters?
You know, tough to square up a guy like that who really gets on top of the ball, makes it go down. Hitters over the years have done different things. They've moved up in the batter's box to try and catch it before it breaks. Think about the ball that's coming about thigh high and then let it go. If it's thigh high, by the time it gets to home plate, it's going to be a ball. You've got to be very patient against pitchers like this. We were watching Sean Markham start last night, and the Cincinnati Reds, who he pitched against, were very patient with Sean Markham. A lot of walks in that game, and I think that's the same approach that the Blue Jays can have this afternoon.
How did it help the Reds that Scott Rowland was playing third base for him? He knew Sean Markham, of course. There's a good sinker that Escobar chases.
And that's out of the strike zone. As it's coming towards home plate, it looks like it's going to be about thigh high, maybe knee high, but by the time it gets there, it drops so much it's out of the strike zone.
All the Blue Jays have been able to do so far is hit the top half of that baseball. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the Blue Jays shortstop. Full count. Twins lead it 1-0. Danny Valencia's first hit, a home run in the 3rd inning. The only score of the ball game. A 1-out walk. John Farrell was talking about Juan Rivera in the 2 spot, saying, you know, I know he's a DH, I know he's a big slugger, but he can handle a bat, and if I feel like hitting and running with him, I will.
He has that ability to shoot the ball through the right side if need be, or turn on a pitch. You know, when you play hit and run, you don't necessarily try and hit the ball the other way. You just try and hit the ball hard on the ground. He can get one on the ground down the third baseline just as easy.
Well, especially the way Blackburn has gotten so many ground balls. You start the runner at first. You create some movement on the infield, and one of those ground balls might find a hole.
Stay out of the double play. Last year, Nick Blackburn got 21 ground ball double plays. He had lots of runners on base. He got more hits than innings pitched, but he compensated by throwing a lot of ground ball double plays.
Has one already here this afternoon. 1-1. Escobar dives back into first. We have seen already in this young season, John Farrell is not conservative. He had a double steal in the first game of the season. Escobar holds his ground. The double steal was initiated by the players, Rajay Davis and Junel Escobar, but it was the mindset that was instilled by Farrell back in spring training.
And he says, I want the players to think like that. I want them to be their own coaches when they are out on the field. You don't necessarily have to get the steal sign from me on the bench. If you think you can go ahead and take that base, go for it.
On the ground, Nishioka, second to Tolbert, back to first, double play. Nick Blackburn does it again. 2 double plays early in this ball game. Bails him out. Twins have taken an early lead.
That's just
with a .327 average behind Pujols and Ichiro. But he doesn't fare well against Brett Cecil. He's 0 for 6 against Cecil.
And Cecil has been very good against left-handed batters. Just 6 walks last year. You can see the discrepancy between left-handers and right-handers. Just a .224 average the lefties had. Not a lot of extra base hits also against Brett Cecil.
Cecil allowed just 3 home runs to left-handed hitters last year. Carlos Pena of the Rays had 2, and Hideki Matsui had the other. Justin Morneau on deck is also 0 for 3 against Cecil. 0 for 4 with the out today. Popped up. Hill calls off Adam Lind and makes the catch. Justin Morneau will step in with 1 out.
This is something that the pitchers can go over. They've got this type of information also. Where can I pitch Justin Morneau to get him out? Obviously, it's up and in. He only has a .167 average, but don't throw it down and in. Look at that average. That's softball numbers. What I worry about when I see that is Brett Cecil likes to throw the changeup to left-handers, and that ends up right in that little hot zone that we just saw at 625.
Yeah, and you can bet Bruce Walton said, hey, down and in, maybe not a good thing here to Morneau. Going away this time. Fly ball to center field and hit deep. Mike McCoy on the track makes the catch. Morneau made a bid to add to the Twins' early lead. He's always hit well in this ballpark. He just missed that one.
Timing's just a little bit off for Morneau. Just got into 11 games. As you see the reaction from Brett Cecil saying thank you. He knows that he left that pitch up.
Former American League MVP still striving to get his timing down early on. Michael Kadire hit a shot right at the shortstop his first time up. .271 a year ago with 81 driven in. Most of the Twins had a tough adjustment last year moving into Target Field for the first time. Natural grass and a much bigger ballpark.
The power alleys are the things that really surprised me when we went there towards the end of last season. How deep it was in the left center field and right center field. You still hit home runs in Target Field. You just have to pull them down the lines.
Green light, 3-0. Encarnacion, high throw, and pulls Lind off the bag. Michael Kadire had the green light, 3-0. Encarnacion had time, but threw it high and wide at first.
18 errors last year for Edwin over at third base. A lot of them throwing errors. This one will take off on him. You're right. He's got plenty of time. And I think at some point Adam Lind is going to figure out when he can leave the bag and get back, and when he'll be able to stretch and get a feel for keeping his foot on that base. That time he does an excellent job of extending as far as he can, but that ball just took off on Encarnacion.
Chad Fairchild, the first base umpire, had a good angle to see the foot off the bag. That extends the inning for a good hitter. Jason Kubel now bats after the error. Kubel grounded to Hill to end the second. Mentioned Kubel out of the starting lineup yesterday against Kyle Drabek, but back in there today against the left-hander.
You would think the matchup will be better against the right-hander, especially a hard-throwing right-hander.
In the dirt, block. There goes Kadire. Throw to second base. On the money, got him. What a reaction by J.P. Arancibia. Stayed on his feet, threw a strike to Escobar to nail Kadire at second. Twins always anticipate moving up on the ball in the dirt, but Aaron Sevia guns him down.
On Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Stay tuned. Coming up, a connected update with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the brand new BlackBerry broadcast studio here at Rogers Center. Jose Bautista goes after a wicked sinker from Nick Blackburn. Blackburn got a double play to end the third inning. Came off the bat of Juan Rivera. Off speed out in front.
Those are pitches that you have to recognize very early and make them get them up. If the Blue Jays keep swinging at it, Blackburn's going to keep throwing them there.
No reason to make a change if you're Nick Blackburn. Pound the bottom of the strike zone. Keep the ball on the ground. He has given up 3 singles.
He is the last starter the Blue Jays saw last year when he pitched that final game of the season back at Target Field, and he pitched very effectively there also. 7 innings, just gave up 3 hits.
Good sinker. Bautista pleading that he had fouled it, but he is waved to the dugout with the strikeout. First strikeout of the afternoon.
Every one of them about the same pitch. Watch this ball. There it is on the hitting plane, and look where it ends up. Down in the dirt. Terra knocks it down. He's got to stay right on top of that ball. You can see the spin on it. How far it goes down. It's an excellent pitch.
Adam Lynn hit into one of the 2 double plays Blue Jays have grounded into. Fouls a high breaking ball. You know, we talk a lot about a 2-seam fastball, and that's the sinker. That's what Blackburn's throwing to the Blue Jays lineup. But it's not like you can teach everybody to throw it. You have to have the proper release and the good finger pressure to impart that spin that makes the ball sink so dramatically. Driven into center. That'll be in front of Span for a hit. Blue Jays now with 4 singles against Nick Blackburn.
And that one was up. Just like the pitch before that he fouled off. It was up. Watch where this one is. Butera wants it down, but it's about belt high. Ripped into center field. Blackburn, again, has such sound mechanics. He stands very tall on the mound, and he gets his arm up, so he's really driving that hand down. And that's why he gets a lot of ground ball outs.
Aaron Hill grounded to short his first time up. Looks at a strike. Felt like it was low. When you're trying to make a pitcher bring the ball up in the zone, boy, that's a tough one. A strike at the knees. That ball was up, but he pulls it foul. Good job by the fan down there.
Saved the officer.
Came over and got a little hall pass from the officer. Nice job. Watch this catch.
Oh, baseball.
That police officer zigged when he should have zagged. Look at Butera smother that ball in the dirt.
He's so quick on his feet. He learned well.
Thank you, sir. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Whew. Ball comes down there in a hurry, doesn't it, officer? Bounced on the ground. Tough hop for Valencia. He makes a nice play on the short hop and throws to first to retire Hill.
Boy, that's why they like Valencia over at third base. No panic in him over there. He makes a good play, first of all, as the ball bounces on the dirt and on the short hop, and he thinks about going to second base, but then realizes, you know what, I need to get an out right here. Without any hesitation, he records the out over at first base. A lot of times you'll see young players trying to make something that's not there, and all of a sudden the ball's down the right field line.
Pulled foul by Encarnacion. Edwin flew out to center field in the second. Hit the ball fairly well. Nearly reached the warning track, and the police officer having a tough day down there.
Target practice.
Yeah, he thought this was a piece of cake duty call today. Hey, sit on the stool down there in Rogers Center and you'll have a good time.
Well, he just got missed a couple of pitches ago, and now this one is like, whoa.
He's not having a whole lot of fun here. Thinking, how tough can this duty be? You sit on a stool, you're inside, no weather issues, and he's had to dodge two here in this inning. Look out. He might want to move.
Or get a net.
Enough already.
Maybe he can get one of those pitcher screens. Sit behind that.
2 outs. Jays trail by a run. Adam Lind at second. Another foul.
That was a good one to hit right there, that pitch.
Stayed up a bit.
Stayed up, and it looked like he took a little something off of it. And that's why Encarnacion was a little bit out in front of it.
Don't take your eye off the field. Smith's 2-2. Encarnacion's having a good at bat. Fouling off the nasty pitches inside.
And he has seen every pitch now from Nick Blackburn.
Bounced over the mound. Nishioka. Wide at first. Lynn's going to come in to score. It's tied at 1. A bouncing ball over the mound. Nishioka threw on the run and threw it past Michael Kadire at first.
Made an error on opening night, and here's a big one right here. Credit Encarnacion coming out of that box trying to beat it out. It's very close, but he throws it away from Kadire. He comes in very quickly and tries to throw on the run, and it's wild into the stands. Lind will be awarded home plate, and Encarnacion will head to second. 18 errors last year in the Japan League, but also 3 Gold Gloves in his career there.
Travis Snyder with a chance to give the Jays the lead out in front.
Watch Edwin Encarnacion come out of the box thinking base hit. He looks so much faster this year. He is busting it down that line, and he's rewarded with second base.
Came into camp in great shape. Something that was noticed by the coaches and the manager. Travis Snyder. 0-2. Snyder grounded a single to right field his first time up. Got him. Good fastball away, and Blackburn strands a runner. But the Blue Jays come through on a base hit and an error. We are tied at 1 after 4. Now it's time for a connected update with Jamie. At the Game Zone on Sportsnet.ca for live stats and live chats with Shai Davidi and Mike Wilner. Viewers are encouraged to participate. Just go to jayslive.sportsnet.ca and join in the fun during the game. There's Shai Davidi working hard before the game, gathering information to pass it along to you during the course of the ball game. Just log on to sportsnet.ca. Brett Cecil just a little out of sorts over the last inning or so, falling behind the Twins hitters. Jason Kubel was at the plate in the 4th inning when Michael Kadire tried to advance on the ball in the dirt and was thrown out by J.P. Arancibia at second. A 1-1 ball game here in the 5th. Blue Jays have won the first 2 games of this 3-game series. Popped out of play. Minnesota, after this game, will fly to New York. They will have a 4-game series with the Yankees, 3 night games, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then an afternoon game on Thursday. Ron Gardenhire has had a tough time playing American League East teams the last couple of years.
How about tough time playing the Blue Jays in this ballpark and then having to turn around and go to New York and play the Yankees there? They haven't had much success.
Since the end of 09 against the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Rays, the Twins are just 10-27. In the meantime, they've got 101-56 against everybody else. Base hit up the middle. But the Twins have really had a tough time. Just 15 wins a year ago against the AL East, but against the 4 top teams in the East, 10 wins. Look what they've done against the rest of baseball.
Yeah, pounded it. Almost a 2-1 one-loss record. That's including playoffs. And again, they haven't had much success here. They have not won a season or the season series here at Rogers Center since 2005.
Danny Valencia homered against Cecil, leading off the third inning. 1-1 ball game. Jason Kubel at first with the leadoff single. Two and 0. Again, Cecil falling behind.
Starting to lay off his changeup now, the one that goes down and away to the right-handers. They are making adjustments against Brett Cecil. First inning, he came out on fire, striking out the side. It's been a little bit different approach for the Twins since then.
Just off the inside corner, 3-0. We had mentioned Cecil's fastball velocity was a concern for Brett back in spring training. Today it's maintained about an 88-mile-an-hour average. He started out in the first inning averaging 89 miles an hour on 9 first-inning fastballs, but it's about the same all game long. He just hasn't had that real fine command that Bruce Walton wants to see.
And if you ask Bruce Walton or you ask John Farrell, location much more important than miles per hour. We could fall in love with that. That can take a big part of what you're doing, what you're throwing. That's not important. It's where you're throwing it.
A single and a walk starts things off here in the 5th.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Are you ready for the next generation Civic?
1-1 ball game here at Rogers Center. First and second, nobody out. The catcher, Drew Butera, in a bunting situation. The Blue Jays anticipating the bunt as they have really closed in on the corners on the infield. Squares to bunt. Bunt's a good one up the third baseline, but it'll trickle foul. Boy, Adam Lynn was really crashing hard from first base.
As the first baseman, all you have to do is watch the barrel of the bat. If he squares around, you got to charge hard. I've seen first basemen actually go over and make the play on the third base side that they come so hard.
Lyle Overbay, Keith Hernandez, two of the best I ever recall with doing that. You got to be very confident, and when you break hard.
What you don't want to do is break too early, and they change up on you. Then you're standing about 35, 40 feet from the plate, and he's swinging the bat. Just watch the barrel of the bat, what it does.
Squares to bunt. It's a good one. Cecil in fair territory, has to go to first, not in time. He looked to third base, and that hesitation cost him. Drew Butera, hustling out of the box, beats the throw to first.
Communication is so important on the bunt play. Minnesota Twins do this better than anybody in baseball. Fundamentals, get the bunt down, make the pitcher field it. The communication from the catcher has got to be, I got to tell him exactly right now where to go. If there's any hesitation like we see right there, Butera runs very well for a catcher, and he beats it out.
Cecil has to recognize he ran too close to the foul line to have a play at third. When you go that far, knowing that you're only going to have one play, you've got to think first base and take the out. So bases are loaded, still nobody out for the number 9 hitter, Matt Tobert. Cecil jumps ahead of Tobert. Kubel single, Valencia walked. Butera reached on the bunt base hit. Little flare into left field. Snyder's going to play it on the hop. One run comes in. Here comes the second run right behind him. Valencia, the throw to the plate. Out. Great job by Snyder and J.P. Arancibia. Snyder had to hold up, play the ball on the hop. Kubel scores the go-ahead run, but Valencia is gunned down.
Well, Snyder makes up his mind that he's going to play it on the bounce, but he gets his feet in good position to turn and fire over the cutoff man all the way to home and gets a big out at the plate. That's a way that could really shut down rallies if you can get out on the bases. Had a surprise that they sent the runner when Valencia had to hold up to make sure that it fell, and once it did, they gambled by bringing him home. I think he was thinking about just moving up 90 feet.
And you turn the lineup over, you've got the leadoff hitter up with nobody out and the bases loaded. But now a double play will get the Jays out of the inning. Base hit into left field. Stop sign. Good throw from Snyder. Butera was stopped at third. He had visions of scoring, but Snyder comes up throwing and keeps Butera at third.
Well, he reads it perfectly, and he is thinking about scoring, which you have to do. A Span slices that ball into left field. You've got to think about running until the coach stops you. And right there, he puts on the brakes and gets back quickly. You got to read it. You got to know where those outfielders are. Drew Butera is a very fundamentally sound base runner. How important is that out now? Recorded by Travis Snyder at the plate. Huge.
So the Twins have the bases loaded, one out. Bruce Walton out with a quick visit to the mound. And while he went to the mound, the bullpen in left field begins to go to work. Casey Jansen loosening up in a hurry.
The only difference I see right now with Brett Cecil than the one we saw earlier in the game, everything is up. And John Farrell told us before the game there's nothing wrong with how he pitches as long as it's down. When it was down, he was very effective, retiring the first 6 batters.
Nishioka over the glove of Escobar in the left field. Butera comes in to score. Tolbert headed to third, and he'll make it as Nishioka picks up the base hit in the RBI. 3-1 Twins. Escobar timed his leap, but it's just beyond his glove.
Right off the end of the bat and muscled at the shortstop. Watch how close he comes to coming up with this one. Just over his glove, and Snyder thinks he has a chance at getting the runner because he had to get back to the bag.
Popped up. Delman Young lifts a high pop-up. Shallow right. Hill makes the catch. Runners hold their ground.
That's a big out. Delman Young, their RBI leader last year with 112. John Farrell electing to keep the left-hander in against the right-hander, and he's rewarded by a pop-up, but he's not out of the woods yet.
Justin Morneau 0 for 2, just missed an extra base hit when he hit the ball off the end of the bat back into fourth and flied to center. 2 outs, bases loaded, just off the outside edge.
Pretty good numbers for Morneau with the bases loaded. 6 grand slams, a .330 average.
Cut on and missed. 1-1. Morneau did not get the normal number of at-bats in spring training as he was continuing to recover from the concussion he suffered last July here at Rogers Center. Pulled foul. Morneau is the 8th Twin to bat here in the 5th inning. They've scored 2 runs on 5 hits and a walk. But Cecil trying to minimize the damage with the bases loaded and 2 outs. And Sebia and Cecil will talk it over. Morneau lays off the high fastball. Tobert's at third. He singled and drove it in a run. Spans at second. He singled to left, and Nishioka with a single is at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tapped up the first base side and foul.
He's got good plate coverage, doesn't he, Justin Morneau? Left-hander, right-hander, it doesn't matter. To go along with that great power stroke, he covers the outside part of the plate.
In the dirt and blocked by Aaron Sebia. So it's a full count. Runners will be on the move. Twins have taken a 2-run lead here in the 5th. From the stretch. Line drive left field. Snyder on the run, makes the catch. Morneau's retired. He hit it hard, but Snyder got a good jump. The Twins on 5 hits scored 2. They've taken a 3-1 lead. The Seattle Mariners against the Oakland Athletics. Doug Fister goes to the mound for the Mariners against the left-hander Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez coming off a great year. In fact, so good, Pat Tabler picked him as one of his fantasy picks to click this year.
200 innings pitched. He won 15 games. Watch him take off again.
J.P. Aaron Sebia starts things off here in the 5th. Blue Jays got some work to do against Nick Blackburn. And Sebia flied to center. Out in front of the off-speed pitch. Brett Cecil really did a pretty good job of minimizing the impact of a walk and 5 hits in that inning, allowing just 2 runs.
Great defense by Travis Snyder really helped out, throwing up that runner at the plate with nobody out, and then getting a fantastic jump on that ball by Morneau to end the inning. Ball slicing back to him. He actually had to slow down to catch it.
Two and two. Blue Jays 4 singles against Nick Blackburn. The ball beaten into the ground and fouled.
You can see how tough it is to get the ball up in the air when he's throwing that ball down there. Cutting and sinking down the lower part of the strike zone. He has had good numbers in his career versus the Blue Jays.
Off the plate. Full count.
2 previous starts versus Jay Batters. Blackburn had 1 walk and 12 strikeouts.
The Jays need some base runners. Bottom part of the order needs to get on. 5th inning here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays trying to sweep the Twins to open the season. High fly ball to deep center field, but Span has plenty of room. Now let's check in with Jamie Campbell for an update.
Number 18, Mike McCoy.
Well, the Orioles off to a good start under Buck Showalter, and how about Chris Tillman yesterday? Threw a no-hitter and was removed from the ball game after 6 innings. No hitting the Rays. Tillman 6 innings, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, threw 101 pitches his first start of the season, so he leaves after 6 in a scoreless tie, 0-0. A lot of optimism surrounding that Orioles ball club.
They too have a lot of young pitchers. You saw that on that graphic about the youngest starters in the American League.
Bounced on the ground, up the middle, behind second. Tolbert off the line, and it's an infield hit for McCoy. Mike McCoy, a couple of hits in his start yesterday, picks up an infield single here with 1 out.
Those are the kind of things that he can do to help the ball clubs. First time up, he tries to push a ball by Blackburn. Was not successful. This time he beats it on the dirt in front of home plate, puts it in a good spot, and with his speed will beat it out for the infield single. The Blue Jays' 5th hit of the afternoon.
Back to the top of the order in Junel Escobar. Grounded out and walked in 2 trips. There goes McCoy. Ball hit on the ground. Valencia has but 1 play, and that's the first. Starting the runner at first base, hoping to create a hole on the infield. They get a ground ball, but it's a bouncer right at the third baseman.
Second baseman was covering, so the right side would have been wide open, but Escobar holds the ball. Looked like McCoy was going to have that one stolen.
So McCoy's in scoring position with 2 down for Juan Rivera. Rivera picked up his first base hit of the season in the first inning, a single to the left. Off the end of the bat, popped up into shallow center. Tolbert, the shortstop, backs up and makes the catch. Again, the Blue Jays strand a base runner. They've left 4 on base. Brett Cecil. Looks like his day has come to an end after 5. Leafs fresh off their win against the Ottawa Senators last night, 4-2 in Ottawa. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. New pitcher for the Blue Jays is Casey Janssen, who comes on to work the 6th inning.
Janssen had an outstanding spring. 10 games he got into this spring with an ERA of 1.7. Last season, he was called on about 68 2/3 innings pitched. He had a career high in strikeouts with 63, which was about a strikeout per inning pitched. He'll come right after you with a good fastball and an off-speed pitch.
Michael Kadire reached on an air and lined to the shortstop. In a hole 0-2. Boy, Casey Janssen's thrown the ball well all spring long.
Well, he has 3 pitches. Former starter for the Toronto Blue Jays. He started some games back in 2006. 17 starts in 2006. So he's got the full repertoire, but he brings the ability to come in and throw 3 pitches for strikes. Fastball, slider, curveball. Also mix in a changeup every now and then, but he drops and drives. One of those type of pitchers. High leg kick, and he drives towards home plate, helping him keep the ball down.
Reached in, fought off into center field. Kadire has a base hit. Boy, he hit a tough pitch right there, and it's rewarded.
Here's the pitching line for Brent Cecil. 5 innings, 6 hits. He did have a couple of walks, and those 3 strikeouts were all in the first inning. When he went through Span, Nishioka, and Delman Young very easily. That's the last time he struck him out. What we probably saw with Brett here this afternoon is after that first inning, pitches started to creep up a little bit in the strike zone.
Jason Kubel takes a pitch outside. Kubel singled and scored in that 2-run 5th inning. He got things started with a single to center. Kadire doesn't run often, but he chooses his spots very effectively. 7 for 10 in stolen bases a year ago.
Pretty good percentage for Michael Kadire. He's just a good baseball player. He can play multiple positions. He's a clutch hitter. There's a little bit of everything to help your ball club.
Early in his career, he started out on the infield. He started over at third. They tried him at second for a while. Then he moved to the outfield. He's probably best suited to play right field. Has a strong arm, very accurate arm. But then last year, after July 7th, he played a lot of first base, filling in for the injured Justin Morneau. Two balls and a strike to Kubel. 3-1 Twins lead here in the 6th.
Twins hitters today a lot more patient than what we saw the first 2 games in this series.
Kadire, a little flat-footed, had to dive in very quickly over at first.
Now, Jansen has a very quick move over to first base. Watch how quick his feet are. Good strong throw.
Three and one. The Twins, you're right, were allowed to be a little more selective. Brett Cecil retired the first 6 batters he faced, 3 up, 3 down in the first and second, and Danny Valencia hit a leadoff home run in the 3rd. Foul back, full count. Hitters don't normally have an awful lot of at-bats against relief pitchers, especially when you're in different divisions like the Twins and the Blue Jays. Kubel facing Jansen for the first time. There goes Kadire. pulled past the diving Lynn into right. Kadire goes around second. He's headed for third. So the full count. Kubel got a good pitch and pulled it past the first baseman into right. First and third, nobody out.
Bidding for some more runs. They start the runner. Looked like a slider that stayed up in the strike zone again. There goes Kubel, and he gets it right past Adam Limb. Even if he comes up with that, because they started the runner, I don't think they would have been able to turn two.
Casey Janssen pitched 2/3 of an inning in the opener on Friday night. Got 2 ground ball outs to end the 7th in relief of Ricky Romero. Danny Valencia's had a good afternoon. He goes after the first pitch. David Percy, the left-hander, has yet to get into a game. He's loosening up for the Blue Jays. Jansen, not a real big strikeout pitcher, but here's when you need one. First and third, nobody out. Pop up strikeout, keep the base runners in place.
His strikeouts to 9 innings pitched was a little bit over 8 last year, which is excellent for a reliever.
5-3 call. What a big pitch. Right on the outside corner, and Jansen gets just what the doctor ordered.
Valencia was thinking off-speed pitch, and Casey Jansen motors a fastball right on the outer half. Throws it right by him. Tough to pull the trigger when you're looking for an off-speed pitch, and he pops one right in there. So that's the big first out.
Drew Butera with a bunt single back in the 5th, part of that 5-hit barrage against Brett Cecil.
He can handle the bat. Drew Butera. Twins are liable to do anything here.
They can do a lot of things here. They can push bunt. They can play safety squeeze. Push a ball toward the right side of the infield.
You can start the runner to stay out of the double play, hit and run and get the ball on the ground. That'll get that run in. He handles the bat very well.
Blocked by Aaron Sevilla. Trying to keep the double play in order. Aaron Sevilla did a good job of walking that ball and keeping Kubel at first. You see Aaron Sevilla looking into the dugout. He's looking for Don Wakamatsu to get the signs on the base running defense. Good pitch down and away, 1-1. Many people anticipate with Aaron Sevilla getting a lot of time behind the plate that Wakamatsu's calling pitches. All he's doing here is calling the defensive plays should the Twins start to runner at first.
Controlling the running game. Where you're going to throw the ball in case they start that runner.
And that's one of the plays. Fake to third, look to first.
Well, because Butera is a right-handed batter, Encarnacion has to play deep at third base, and that's allowing Kadire to get a huge lead. Jansen recognized that and just faked the throw over there. You can see how far off Encarnacion is from the bag.
Pivotal point of the ball game. Twins up by 2. Number 8 hitter Drew Butera trying to add to that Twins lead. Blue Jays thinking double play. Popped it up. Shallow right field. Bautista very shallow. Kadire fakes toward home and has to hold his ground.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Are you ready for the next generation Civic?
Runners at the corners, 2 outs. Number 9 hitter Matt Tolbert. Casey Jansen trying to wiggle his way out of a 1st and 3rd nobody out situation and kept the Twins within striking distance. Broken bat dribbler to the second baseman Aaron Hill. What a job by Jansen. Back-to-back singles. The Twins had 1st and 3rd nobody out, and he leaves them right there. It's still a 2-run game. Twins lead it 3-1. Every game. At Bat 2011 allows you to customize the app to receive Blue Jays specific news and alerts. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Casey Jansen did a heck of a job getting out of that inning after giving up back-to-back singles to start it. Skipper very appreciative because the Blue Jays are in the heart of their order. Just 2 runs down here in the 6th. Blackburn's been impressive. You can see why they penciled him into the 3 spot in their rotation.
When we opened up the show, we were talking about Blackburn's season last year, an ERA approaching 6. Because you don't put a guy who's got an ERA like that as your number 3 starter. There's a reason for it.
He's a prototypical Twins starter in that he throws a lot of strikes. He keeps the ball down. He won't walk himself into trouble. Bautista to left field. This is gone. Number 2 for the Blue Jays right fielder. A line shot to the facing in left.
How quickly that bat gets through the strike zone, especially when he is geared for a pitch. 3-1, he's looking for something inside. Listen to the sound that he creates with that great bat speed. And on a line, he got it right off the facing of the second deck. Might have taken a chunk out of that cement. It was hit so hard.
It's a 1-run game. Bautista, number 2 on the season. Remember, Bautista and Lind went back-to-back in the series opener on Friday. Hit on the ground, but Kadyr's there. He'll take it himself. 1 out here in the 6th.
You know, you were talking about the Minnesota Twins and how they really make them put the ball in play. It really starts in the minor leagues with the Minnesota Twins. Their number 1 priority is to command that fastball.
Bautista's home run number 2 on this young season. Blackburn gave up 25 home runs a year ago. Hill's done a good job of laying off that borderline sinker low. There doesn't seem to be any urgency in Aaron Hill's approach early in the season. Last year we saw a lot of nervous energy at the plate. Pulls it, but right at Valencia at third. 2 outs.
It's a good approach at the plate. Quiet. Use your hands. He's got plenty of power in that bat. He was telling us before the game that helps him to hit the ball to right field a little bit more. Stay on it a little bit longer.
Opening weekend here at Rogers Center. Final game of the pregame series. Edwin Encarnacion 0 for 2, reached on an error in the 4th. Valencia bobbles it. Encarnacion got out of the box in a hurry, and he'll reach again. Boy, a hot shot to third, handcuffed Valencia.
This ball is stung by Encarnacion. The ball bucketing on Valencia and handcuffs him right off the heel of the glove. But Encarnacion, just like his last time up, when he sprinted down to first base, beating it by an eyelash, this time again keeps the inning alive with that ball.
Valencia is charged with an error, and that's going to be the end of the afternoon for Nick Blackburn. The Blue Jays have the tying run on base with 2 outs. The left-hander Jose Mijares when we come back to Jose Bautista bobblehead day. $1,505 in attendance. That runs the series total to 110,683 for the weekend opening series. Travis Snyder will face Jose Mijares and cuts on the first pitch.
Mijares is the lefty specialist for Ron Gardenhire coming out of that bullpen. He's got one of the best earned run averages for all lefty relievers in the American League since 2008. Throws hard. He's got a very good breaking ball. 4-to-1 strikeout ratio.
There's that good breaking ball, and Mijares is ahead of Snyder.
He attacks left-handers with a good fastball and that breaking ball. Tough to pick it up.
Got a piece of it to stay alive. Blue Jays have made it a one-run game on the strength of Jose Bautista's leadoff home run to left off Nick Blackburn. Jason Frazier appears to be ready to come into the game. He's been loosening up and now crouches and watches from the pen. 0-2. Inside corner. Went front door with the breaking ball and strikes out Travis Snyder. But the Blue Jays close ground on the Twins. Jose Bautista's home run. It's a one-run game.
That pitch to Valencia was the big one, to get the strikeout, keep the double play in order. Then he gets to pop up the right field, and watch how he saws off Tolbert with that fastball on the inner half. Great job coming in and keeping this a two-run game, giving the Blue Jays a chance to win it.
They could have busted the game wide open. He was able to strand a couple of base runners, and Bautista made it a one-run game. But the home run now, Jason Frazier will come out of the pen.
Good numbers all the way around for Jason Frazier. You can see he averaged over a strikeout per inning last year. Good fastball. He has the ability to make adjustments depending on how he feels when he comes into the game. He pitched on opening night against Minnesota, very clean inning in his one inning of work, and he will start off with Bernard Span, the top of the lineup.
Frazier pitched the 8th inning of the opener, gave up a leadoff single, but that was erased on a double play. Just faced 3 batters, and Span lines it into the seats. Another good ball game here at Rogers Center. We mentioned a great crowd over the weekend, 110,000 plus coming out for the 3 games. Last year's season opener drew 79,821. 30,000 increase over the 3 games this weekend. Ball on the strike. Frazier battled the flu in the middle of spring training, missed some time, but was able to get back on the mound and build up his arm strength at the end of March. Fought off and fouled out of play.
And that's so important in spring training. You know, you gear yourself the 6 weeks that you're down there to build your arm up for game situations, so when the season starts, you're ready to go, whatever your role is. You miss a little time in spring training, it's almost like you have to start all over again to get that arm strength back.
Takes you a while to really get up to speed. Even 4, 5, 6 appearances out of the bullpen during the regular season. Weekly hit on the ground. Span can run, but he's retired 4-3.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Are you ready for the next generation Civic?
One out, top of the 7th inning. Tsuyoshi Nishioka 1 for 3. He had a hit in the 5th inning when the Twins scored 2 to take the lead. This is a very deep, very talented bullpen the Blue Jays start the season with. Jansen's thrown the ball well all spring long. Jason Frazier, Sean Kemp. We haven't seen the big guy John Roush yet. More than likely he will get into this game this afternoon at some point. Roush and Percy, the only relievers yet to appear this season.
You have an off day tomorrow, so you're right. John Farrell will want to get both of those pitchers into the game at some point today.
A ball and 2 strikes. But the composition of the bullpen, I believe, is a very effective one. Frazier can pound the strike zone with a 93, 94 mile an hour fastball. Has the off-speed pitch to splitter. Mark Zepchinski worked in the game. Walked the batter, but had a good inning in the 9th. Just inside.
When you put together bullpens, you want to have different types of players out there. You want some hard throwers to get strikeouts. You want long men. Obviously, strike throwers.
There it is on the corner. Tried the inside corner. That didn't work. Went back away from Nishioka, and he strikes out for a 2nd time this afternoon.
Surprised by the fastball as he watches this one go by. And Frazier, a strikeout an inning last year. Paint job right on the outside corner.
2 outs. Delman Young 0 for 3 with a couple of pop-ups. High fly ball deep, but well foul. Makes it into the upper deck. These two know each other very well. Delman Young came up to the big leagues with the Tampa Bay Rays. Jason Frazier in his 8th season with the Blue Jays. A lot of battles against one another, and Frazier has the upper hand.
He has used his good curveball to get Delman Young. And he came up with that split change a few years ago. Really the equalizer. He'll get a ton of strikeouts with it.
Bounce that fastball. Try to reach back for a little extra. A ball and 2 strikes. Delman Young 2 for 14 against the Blue Jays right-hander. Driven to right, Bautista backpedaling, has plenty of room and makes the catch. Good inning for Jason Frazier. 3 up, 3 down into 7th. The Blue Jays 8-9-1 when we come back. Jays find themselves down by a run at 3-2 as they're prepared to bat into the 7th. And boy, you got to look at that bullpen. Casey Jansen, Jason Frazier doing a good job of keeping the Twins down.
Yeah, Jansen making some good pitches to keep it a 2-run game. They hit the home run. Frazier comes in and does a really nice job. I know we'll see John Roush at some point. We'll probably see Zebchinski versus the left-hander. I'm also very interested to see how the Minnesota Twins finish up this ball game with their bullpen.
Matt Capps has already worked in this series. Joe Nathan is back. He is yet to pitch, coming off of Tommy John surgery a year ago.
And you know the thing about the Blue Jays, they never seem to be out of a game because of their ability to hit home runs.
Bautista's home run today, the 7th the Blue Jays have hit in the first 3 games of the season. Blue Jays held to just 6 hits this afternoon. Jose Mijares came in to strike out Travis Snyder to end the 6th. Tries to catch that outside corner and missed. Blue Jays, the Rangers, and the White Sox coming out of the gate swinging the lumber. Chicago has scored 23 runs already this season before the start of action today.
How about what the Rangers have done to the Red Sox first 2 starters?
Worn them out.
Ooh.
John Lester and John Lackey have been abused by the Texas Rangers. The Rangers hit 7 home runs in their first 2 games. Ian Kinsler and Nelson Cruz have homered in each of the first 2 ball games. 2-2 to Aaron Sebia. Full count. Blue Jays need a base runner. Number 8 hitter represents the tying run. Good cut by Aaron Sebia. The White Sox as a club in their first 2 games have hit .363. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's okay. With a lot of power too, a lot of runs scored. Now they're beating up on the Cleveland Indians.
Leadoff walk by Aaron Sebia. Time for an update. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell.
Number 18, Mike McCoy.
Aaron Sebia with the leadoff walk. Mike McCoy, a very good bunter.
Had a long look at Brian Butterfield, the third base coach.
Squares to bunt, pulls the bat back.
Each time out, he's going to peer down to that third base coach to get an idea of what they're going to do.
Blue Jays can take the bunt off, play hit and run. McCoy handles the bat very well. He already has an infield hit this afternoon. Squares to bunt, pulls it back again. 2 balls, no strikes.
You have to have a feel for the game and what the guy out on the mound is doing. He just walked J.P. Arencibi after getting ahead 0-2. First 2 wide right. Tough to put the hit and run on. Just keep trying to bunt here until he throws a strike.
And he hasn't shown any signs of doing that. 3-0. Got to take a strike here if you're McCoy, obviously.
And still fake like you're bunting. Get the infield moving around.
Ron Gardenhire, Jerry White, the first base coach, talking about the infield defense. A 4-pitch walk, first and second, nobody out.
Gardenhire is going to go to the bullpen, but this is not what the Twins do. They make a lot of strikes. Ron Gardenhire very frustrated with the leadoff walks to the 8 and 9 batter to start the 7th inning.
Good job by Aaron Sebia to start it, and then McCoy didn't have anything to offer out. First and second, nobody out. It'll be Matt Capps coming on for the Twins. Escobar, but he calls over Bautista to act as a translator.
Here's what I want to do. Tell him this in Spanish. They're thinking about punting. You could hit and run. John Farrell has said that they're going to do a bunch of different things this year, so they want to make sure everybody is on the same page.
The Blue Jays have an awful lot of options in this scenario. Matt Capps comes out of the bullpen. Nobody out here in the seventh, and the Blue Jays are threatening. Capps pitched an inning in yesterday's game, was charged with a run on 3 hits. Escobar shows bunt. Aaron Seavey and McCoy on the bases. Bunts it perfectly. Capps will have to make a play to first. Just in time to get Escobar. Perfect execution by the Blue Jays shortstop. Aaron Seavey moves to third. McCoy moves into second.
And if Juno Escobar doesn't have to recoil because that pitch was on the inside part of the plate, he would have beaten that ball out. That's how perfect this bunt was. It's an inside fastball. Watch how it takes him a little bit of time to get out of the box, but placed perfectly, and it makes a good play by Capps to get him out. Fastball in. He's got to recoil, and by that time, he's not going to do it, but he did his job. He got those runners into scoring position.
Great bunt by Escobar. Second and third, 1 out for Juan Rivera. A single in 3 trips. Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Infield playing back. They will concede the run. They don't want to give up 2. So anything in the middle of the diamond will tie this game.
That comeback fastball missed outside. Rivera has not faced Matt Capps previously. He went to the dugout and had a long chat with Dwayne Murphy, going over the scouting report, trying to get some information what he might look for. Driven down the right field line. This ball is foul. Good approach by Rivera.
That's why they have him in that number 2 hole this afternoon with Rajay Davis out. His ability to handle the bat, and especially with 2 strikes now, he'll make the adjustments. As you see, Perkins, the left-hander, is now up in the bullpen for Minnesota. He'll spread out just a little bit more. He'll shorten his swing. You were talking about the scouting report on Matt Capps. Harb something hard. Good hard fastball, good hard breaking ball, and usually down in the strike zone.
Rivera can tie it up with a ground ball up the middle to the middle infielders. They are playing back. They'll concede a run. But before we have a pitch, Butera wants to talk things over with Caps. Jose Bautista lurks on deck. 2 hits this afternoon, including his second home run. Blue Jays trail by a run. Bounced right to the pitcher. Caps takes his time and throws Rivera out. Boy, made a good pitch. So Jose Bautista will bat with 2 outs. His last at bat, a home run in the 6th.
And that's why I think there's going to be a discussion here. That is Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, to go out and talk to Bautista. Do you want Caps versus Bautista, Perkins versus Lynn? That's what it's going to come down to.
You've got to believe that they're going to entrust Caps to pitch around Bautista. But if you're going to pitch around him, why not just walk him?
Yeah, why not?
Bautista has just faced Caps once. He's 0 for 1. That came in last night's game. First time he'd ever faced him. Rick Anderson, the veteran pitching coach, with some last-minute instructions, a tap on the side, said, go get him. Or not. A base open. Bautista. Right now, he's got to sort out his mind as well. And he's been very good at laying off borderline pitches.
Taking what the pitcher gives him.
Interesting. Butera set up on the inside corner in case McCoy was giving location from second base and then slid way off the plate outside. They don't intend to throw a strike here.
And not inside. The way that he can bring that barrel of the bat through the strike zone, I wouldn't put anything on the inner half.
Breaking ball down and away, a ball and a strike. Jose Bautista, 124 RBI a year ago. Driven to center, but right at Denard's span, and Caps gets out of it. He left the fastball up out over the plate. Bautista hit it right hard, but right at the center fielder. Matt Caps comes out of the pen to protect the 1-run lead. Jays trail by a run as the Twins are set to bat in the 8th inning. It'll be the left-hander Mark Zepchinski coming out of the bullpen for a second time this season. Zepchinski finished up the game yesterday, walked the batter, got a double play, and then got the final out of the ball game in the ninth.
A couple of tough left-handers coming up here in this one-run game in the 8th inning. Morneau and Kubel. So John Farrell goes to his lefty. Zepchinski, there are his numbers with his starts last season.
First pitch strike to Morneau. Take a look at the infield shift now, making some minor adjustments. Encarnacion is at the shortstop position. Escobar on the right side of the diamond. Encarnacion's going to have a tough play here. Backhands, throws, no time. Morneau gets his first hit of the season, an infield broken bat single to the left side of the infield. Encarnacion had no chance whatsoever.
Well, they pull him around because the scouting reports say Morneau pulls everything, but he was trying to go the other way. Inside out swing. It looked like the barrel went farther than the ball. No chance for Encarnacion to throw out Morneau. He picks up the leadoff single.
And that'll be it for Morneau. He's got a big smile on his face as he picks up his first hit of the season. Alexi Casilla comes on as the pinch runner. Michael Kadire, the right-hander, takes the first pitch strike from Zepchinski.
Those good hitters like Morneau really have an idea when they get that plate. He was trying against that left-hander to shoot the ball the other way. It worked out nicely for him. And that's just a good hitter starting this inning.
Yeah, you're not going to see an awful lot of infield singles off the bat of Justin Morneau once he gets his timing down. And he knows it's just a matter of time. Good to see him healthy again. Good to see him back on the field.
Yes, one of my favorite players to watch play this game.
On the ground, another broken bat. Hill to the shortstop, Escobar. Strong arm on the money. Double play.
Just like in yesterday's game when Mark Zepchinski was out there, the leadoff batter gets on, but he's got a good fastball with late life that moves down. Breaks another bat, and he got a double play in yesterday's game. And he gets another one here thanks to Hill, Escobar, and Lind.
Zepchinski is going to earn an awful lot of opportunities if he continues to throw the ball the way he has early. Jason Kubel. And this is a perfect setup for Zepchinski. Late in the ball game, 8th inning. Left-hander, right-hander, left-hander.
Right through the heart of their lineup also.
Now, he's got such a devastating breaking ball to handle left-handed hitters. And then once he gets his sights set, that sinking fastball becomes a good pitch to right-handers. Look out. He let one get away there. He had it set up perfectly. He had Kubel just where he wanted him, left-handed batter, and this one just gets away.
They wanted to go down and in. And it looks like it got him right above the elbow, the tricep area.
Kubel will give way to the pinch runner at first base. Jason Repko comes off the bench. John Farrell comes out of the dugout, takes the ball from Mark Zepchinski. It'll be the right-hander Sean Kemp when we come back. He'll face Danny Valencia in this one-run game. under 3. And he has the ability to take the sting out of a young hitter's bat with the off-speed pitch. Big sweeping breaking ball and very good changeup. Valencia 1 for 2 with a homer. Off the glove of Encarnacion. Casilla, Repko around second, headed for third. That was hit right to the backhand side of Encarnacion. He looked at his glove as if maybe the webbing broke, but it went off his glove into fair territory.
Hooks the first pitch he sees, that down and in fastball. This will give you a good view of where it is. Right off his glove. Ball that's catchable. Ricochets off his glove down the left field line, and they have Repko in as a pinch runner. He had thoughts of maybe scoring from first base on that.
That is scored a double off the glove of the third baseman. Very generous scoring. 2 outs for the catcher, Drew Butera. Shows bunt, pulls the bat back. Butera had a bunt single in the 5th.
Why not? Right after a ball to the third baseman, he was playing deep. Why not bring him in and try and hit it by him?
Ball on the strike. Leafs here after a big win. Dion Phaneuf on the right, enjoying the ball game here. 4-2 winners last night in Ottawa against the Senators. Playing pretty good hockey here at the end of the season. Changeup finds the outside corner.
Just 80 miles an hour, but it's good arm action. He throws that changeup right out of the same arm slot as his slider. Tough for right-handers to pick it up.
Camp trying to save the 2 runs. Steps off. And CB will start over with a new sequence of signs. They're still not together. Now they're set. Got it. Big sweeping slider. Butera goes down. Kemp comes in and does a great job stranding 2 runners. It's still a 1-run game. Now it's time for a connected update with Jamie and Greg live from the brand new BlackBerry broadcast studio. Sportsnet Radio, the Fan 590, fan590.com, and across Canada on Blue Jays Radio Network. Jerry Howard and Alan Ashby won't let you miss a thing.
Glenn Perkins will take over for Ron Gardenhire's Minnesota Twins. on the mound as we start the 8th inning. The left-hander, a former first-round draft pick back in 2004, was a starter.
Adam Lynn hits it high and deep to center, but Spans calling for it on the warning track and hauls it in. Lynn gave it a ride, but it died on the warning track, and Perkins got away with one.
Yeah, he takes a big breath. Also, hanging breaking ball to Adam Lynn. Perkins, the former starter in the minor leagues in his first 2 years in the big leagues for the Minnesota Twins. They moved him to the bullpen last year. Doesn't throw very hard, but throws lots of strikes.
Aaron Hill. 3 ground ball outs this afternoon. They'd love to get one in the air here against Perkins.
Hopefully with a run on base. Get that first one on there and then use the home run power that they do so well.
Perkins is flirting with danger, trying to work on the inner half and leaving the ball up. He's had success against Hill. Hill 0 for 7 against the Twins left-hander. Pops this one along the right side. Kadire runs out of room. Jason Repko came on as a pinch runner for Jason Kubel. He takes over defensively at right. Full count. Hill represents the tying run with 1 out here in the 8th. Pops it straight back.
He's challenging him. Fastball's on the inner half. Doesn't want to walk him.
Edwin Encarnacion on deck. Good rip. Hill's had some hittable pitches in his at-bat. Blue Jays have hit 7 home runs so far this season. Pulled to short. 2 down. Getting the start in place of Alexi Casilla.
Looks good at shortstop. He's got good movement, lateral movement, left to right, and a very strong, accurate arm.
If I'm in Encarnacion, I'm looking first pitch fastball right here.
Inner half. Got it.
Perkins must have a little extra hop on his fastball. It's 91, but both Hill and Encarnacion have just been a little bit late. Well, you can see Edwin loading up on that back leg. He is a terrific low fastball hitter, low ball, any breaking ball down. He loves to get that ball down around his knees.
He showed the Twins firsthand the last series of the season in Minnesota how strong he is.
Had a great final week to the 2010 season. He was the American League Player of the Week for the final week. It's jammed on this pitch.
Homered to right field in that series, one to dead center where the bullpens are at Target Field, and for good measure one to left field.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Looks like they want to crowd him. There are his numbers last season against Minnesota. 7 home runs and 14 driven in 8 games.
Breaking ball gets him. Boy, what a job by Perkins. Right through the heart of the order. Gets Hill and Encarnacion. 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Twins lead it by a run. Waiting, another first only from Rogers.
Minnesota Twins scored 2 runs in the 5th inning, and it could have been worse, but this throw by Snyder cuts down the run at the plate. Could have been the bases loaded, nobody out, top of the lineup, but he cuts them down. They only end up scoring 2 runs, and that's why it's just a 1-run game right now.
Big John Roush makes his Blue Jays debut here against his former team, the Minnesota Twins. Roush, 32 years old. 6'10" right-hander, opened up the season with the Twins as the closer. Recorded a career-high 21 saves in 59 games in Minnesota.
Here it is when John Roush is on the plate. He is going to challenge you with a fastball. He's got a good little slider. But the thing about him, he comes right after you. And it's usually down in the strike zone.
John Roush signed originally with the Chicago White Sox and went to Montreal organization, ended up playing in Washington. 2008 he was traded from the Nationals to the Diamondbacks, and then in 2009 landed in Minnesota. Matt Tolbert, the shortstop. Roush is a pitcher. Sinks the ball, cuts the ball, uses a breaking ball, changes speeds on everything.
Just 14 walks last year.
This ball's popped up. Encarnacion drifting into foul territory makes the catch. Just a scoring reminder as you look at Joe Nathan loosening up. Appears that he's going to come on looking for the save here. Edwin Encarnacion has been charged with an error back in the 8th inning. Danny Valencia hit a shot off his glove, originally ruled a double. Now it's been changed to an E5. Tough day in the field for Edwin. 1 out. Back to the top of the order. Long drive to right field, and this one is out of here. Bernard Span jumps on the first pitch from his former teammate John Roush. An insurance home run, his first of the season.
He had the best view in the house last year when he watched John Roush pitch, and he knew that he likes to challenge you with the fastball. And that's what he was doing. Sitting dead red, he gets it, and he has that ability to turn on those fastballs. Hits it in the second deck, and a big run comes across the plate for the Twins.
3 home runs a year ago for the Twins center fielder, his first of the season. Nishioka pops it toward the seats and back in, out of play. That's the first run the Blue Jays bullpen has allowed this year. Comes with 1 out in the 9th inning. 0-2. So Yoshi Nishioka 1 for 5, 1 for 4 this afternoon with a pair of strikeouts.
Two strikes. He just likes to slap the ball the other way. So the left fielder has shortened up, as is Escobar, the shortstop.
Nishioka hit .346 a year ago, his final season in the Nippon Professional League. Played 7 seasons for the Chiba Lotte Marines. Just 26 years old. One of the younger position players to come to the major leagues from Japan. A ball and 2 strikes. Twins have added an insurance run here in the ninth.
It looked like home plate umpire Paul Schreiber was ready to pull the trigger. He flinched a little bit like he was ready. Watch him. But then at the last second said, no, I'm going to stay down in my crouch. That ball's low.
2-2. Full count. Now, umpires have timing as well. Just like pitchers, just like hitters. And Paul Schreiber with his first home plate assignment of the season. Had a pretty good day. Nishioka doesn't strike out an awful lot. You can see why. Just keeps his hands back, even though that body appears to run away from home plate. Stays through that hitting zone.
A lot like Ichiro Suzuki from the Seattle Mariners. When he gets 2 strikes, he keeps his hands back and just tries to serve the ball to left field. Just slap it that way.
Full count, 1 out. John Roush in his first inning of work this season. Just off the inside corner. Roush thought he had him struck out a couple of times.
Really froze him with that pitch on the inner half. It looked like a cutter. Watch Aaron Sebia. He doesn't move his glove.
He's got a lot on the plate, but Paul Schreiber felt it was a little low. 1 out, 1 on in the ninth. Delman Young, the number 3 hitter. Twins have added a run. Nishioka 22 steals in 33 attempts last season. Blue Jays down by 2, looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth. 7, 8, 9, the scheduled hitters: Snyder, Aaron Sebia, and Mike McCoy. Ground ball. Escobar steps on the bag at second. Here's the first for the double play. John Roush gets out of it, walks Nishioka, but gives up a home run. It's now a 2-run deficit. Snyder will lead things off in the bottom of the ninth. surgery last spring, and this has been some ball club, and certainly they have to be pleased that Joe Nathan is back.
He has meant so much to this team, this organization, but I don't think anybody knows what to expect from Joe Nathan, especially how old he is. He's over 35 years old. Coming in now after Tommy John surgery, does he still have that good fastball? Does he still have that very good wipeout curveball? We'll see.
I spoke to Joe Nathan here on Thursday, and he said he feels great. He said, yeah, maybe my arm speed, arm strength isn't up to where it will be later on, but I feel like I can still pitch. I have good command, and he's very optimistic about the early part of this season.
47 for 52 a couple of years ago for Nathan, one of the best in all of baseball when it comes to saving ball games before the injury. Power versus power to lead off the ninth inning.
Travis Snyder has a single in 3 trips to the plate. Joe Nathan making his first appearance since October 11th, 2009. Game 3 of the ALDS against the Yankees. Snyder chases a high fastball, a ball and strike. Nathan, 247 career saves. 47 saves, a career high in 2009. There's that curveball.
Good pitch for him. He's always around 60, 70 innings pitched for the year, but up around 90 strikeouts. True power pitcher.
Nothing wrong with that fastball, especially behind a good hook. Nathan, originally with the San Francisco Giants, was acquired in a trade with the Giants November 14, 2003. 3 players came to Minnesota in exchange for A.J. Pierzynski.
Turned out pretty nicely for Minnesota, didn't it?
Francisco Liriano, Joe Nathan, and Luke Bonzo. A very good trade. Snyder stays alive. Travis Snyder had a base hit his first at bat, then he has gone down on strikes twice, once swinging, once looking. He's also added a good throw to the plate to nail Danny Valencia. That came in the 5th inning. Slider down and in.
Yeah, if you're guessing fastball here, you know Joe Nathan doesn't want to walk, and if you're guessing fastball here, you've got to get started a little bit early. Get that bat head out in front.
Pull to the right side. Nishioka dives, gets to his feet, but not in time at first. An infield single starts things off in the bottom of the ninth.
Even on the turf, Travis Snyder runs very well. Ball looks like it's going to go through, but he's thinking base hit, and he busts it out of that batter's box and beats the throw from Nishioka. Good start here in the 9th inning.
That brings the tying run to the plate. Nishioka showing good range, but Snyder hustled down the line to beat the throw. J.P. Arancibia 0 for 2. In the dirt. How in the world did Butera get that ball?
What a marvelous play by Drew Butera. This ball in the dirt area. And you say, well, so what? It's just a wild pitch and you've got a 2-run lead. It keeps the double play in order for Joe Nathan.
And if he gets to second, that almost guarantees you're going to turn the lineup over. Arancibia to the left. Young at the track at the wall, makes the catch. Snyder retreats to first. Arancibia gave it a ride. Delman Young stayed with it and pulled it in just shy of the wall in left center.
Outfielders are taught late in the game, tying or winning run at the plate, you've got to play deep. No doubles. Breaking ball that speeds the bat up of Arancibia. And Delman Young, with those little extra, about 5 or 10 feet, gets back to the wall to haul in that drive by Arancibia. He's hoping this one gets up. And the projection after it's caught by Young.
Got it just toward the end of the bat. Stayed in the park. Young was able to run it down. Mike McCoy, number 9 hitter. Shows Martin takes his strike. Ball on the strike to the number 9 hitter. Junel Escobar is on deck. McCoy trying to get on board. Joe Nathans, his first appearance of the season. Travis Snyder with an infield hit starts things off. Arancibia hit one off the end of the bat all the way to the wall in left center. McCoy loops it down the right field line. That's a base hit. Travis Snyder goes first to third. McCoy's headed to second. He is safe.
That's his game right there, Mike McCoy. Spray the ball around the ballpark and use that good speed to get into scoring position as the tying run. What a play by Repko, the right fielder. I didn't think he had a shot at getting McCoy at second base. Fastball away off the end of the bat, and now he's thinking 2 right here. He comes out of the box thinking 2. Repko gets over there and makes a strong, accurate throw. Good call by Joe West as McCoy gets his hands in there.
Right off the end of the bat, he loops it down the right field line. This is a tough play for a right-handed throwing right fielder, but Repko makes a heck of a throw.
Yeah, I didn't think he had any shot at getting him at second base, and he made it very close.
Second and third, 1 out. Junel Escobar. Blue Jays with a chance to tie it up here in the 9th. Escobar with 199 career RBI. Infield is back. Snyder's not the important base runner. It's McCoy at second. Good eye.
So he's got to get a good secondary lead and really read the ball off the bat now. Know where your shortstop is playing. Know where your outfield is playing so you can read the ball off the bat. That's what Brian Butterfield's telling him right now. Watch the line drive, but if you read base hit, I'm going to send you.
Good arm in left, good arm in center, and Repko, you just saw his arm in right. They throw well from the outfield. Driven to center field, Span on the run, he makes the catch. 1 run comes in, McCoy goes back to tag up, he'll move to third. Escobar gave it a ride, but the speed of Span allowed him to run it down in right center.
Yeah, what a play by Span. Escobar smoked the ball the other day to right center field, and I think Span played him a little bit more straight up this time. This ball is driven. Gets a great jump. He tracks the ball nicely. and has the presence of mind to get it in quickly, thinking that maybe Mike McCoy is going to try and tag and score from second.
McCoy moves over to third. That's huge with the possibility of a ball in the dirt.
Puts a little bit of pressure on everybody on the infield.
Juan Rivera. Rivera knows Nathan. He's 0 for 4 against the Twins right-hander. The tying run 90 feet away. Off the end of the bat.
And you know he wants to get Rivera because he doesn't want to face the man on deck. That is what Bautista has done today.
Blue Jays have scratched and clawed their way back into this ball game in the ninth. Bottom part of the order got it going. Snyder with an infield single. McCoy with a one-out double down the right field line. Revere trying to keep things alive and tie it up.
Boy, he's good back there.
He's as good as anybody in the big leagues, blocking balls in the dirt in my mind. Watch how quickly he gets to his knees.
Quick feet, and then he just uses his body to smother that ball.
Great technique. That's why the pitching staff very confident when Buttera spells Joe Mauer behind the plate. 2 balls and a strike to the veteran Juan Rivera. Laid off the breaking pitch. 3-1. Bautista to the plate with 2 outs.
Running at first base for the Blue Jays, number 28, Jason Nix.
Jason Nix comes on as a pinch runner for Rivera at first. Torey Lovello giving Nix some last-minute instructions.
Right fielder, number 19, Jose Bautista.
Game on the line. Jose Bautista has homered and singled. His first at bat against Joe Nathan. McCoy at third represents the tying run. Jason Nix, the pinch runner at first. Hard breaking ball cut on and missed.
This is what the fans came here to see. Bautista in the 9th inning against the closer for Minnesota. I like Escobar coming out on the on-deck circle to talk to him about how he was pitched by Nathan, telling him fastballs would probably be on the inner half. He starts him off with a breaking ball.
A run in bottom of the 9th. 0-2. Mike McCoy taking a big secondary lead, anticipating a ball getting away from Buchanan.
Yeah, and both runners have to anticipate that. The tying run is at third. The go-ahead run is over at first. So both of them anticipate that ball in the dirt, especially if Nathan wants to try and strike him out with a breaking ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Joe Nathan looking for his first save of the season. What a close pitch. Bautista lays off. Nathan reluctant to give Bautista a fastball.
I don't blame him, unless he just shows it to him. Something out of the strike zone, see if he'll fish for it.
Full count. Adam Lind is on deck.
That might have just been a show-me fastball. See if he's a little anxious and go after it.
Nix will be on the move with the pitch. Kadire is holding him on as he represents the winning run. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Breaking ball fouled in front of the Twins dugout, and Kadire can't get there.
Fights off that curveball. It's so hard. Nathan throws his curveball very hard, and Bautista's shaking his head, asking if that's a strike.
See, that ball backed up and came off the plate inside. Bautista's not really sure where the ball is. Too close to take. We'll do it again. Off-speed pitch, 83 miles an hour, and Bautista stayed on it.
Yeah, just to show him a little something different. Just to 83 miles an hour, trying to throw the timing off of Bautista.
McCoy at third, Nix at first. Another 3-2 pitch from Nathan. What an at-bat by Jose Bautista with a chance to tie the game, maybe win the game. He still has the patience to work the walk.
Fell behind and saw everything that Joe Nathan had to offer. It looked like a slider, that last pitch. That's not one of his better pitches. But Bautista with the ability to stay off of it. Now the tying run is at third, and the winning run, the go-ahead run, is now in scoring position at second base.
Adam Lind. 1 for 4 with a run scored. McCoy, Nix, Bautista on the bases. Bouncing ball, Kadire, fair territory, and the Twins have won it. Joe Nathan gets his first save. The Blue Jays made it interesting. They score a run in the 9th inning, but Nathan comes up to get the tough Adam Lind in the ballgame.
I think that's what we're going to see from the Blue Jays all season long, battling all the way to the end of the game. They'll never be out of it with the ability to hit home runs, but they're going to be able to manufacture runs like we saw here in the 9th inning.
Great job by the bottom of the order as they kept the game alive. Big ball game. Denard Span with the insurance run. That was the difference in the ball game. Now it's time for the Connected Post-Game Report with Jamie and Greg live from the BlackBerry Broadcast Studio at the Rogers Center.